Hey YouTube, Doug Wallman. I am going to be unboxing a camera today, the EOS Canon R7. I decided finally to take the plunge and get a new camera. Now, that being said, I am not saying this camera is actually going to be better than the one I'm shooting with right now. In some regards, that camera over there probably is better, like in low light situations, among other things. But one of my key things that was getting a little irritating to me is I have this lovely lens, which I didn't really speak about too much. The Sigma, I think it's 18 to 35 millimeter f1.8. I'm shooting that right now with my Canon 5D Mark IV, which I don't think I've hardly ever mentioned what gear I'm using. I do love the camera that I'm shooting with. I do love the lens that's on it. Do they pair well together? Well, if I was shooting in 4K, it would be fine. Right now, I am shooting in 1080p, and it does have a little vignetting going on, if you can tell. Now, you can really tell if I would zoom out, so maybe I'll do that. So if I zoom out, you can kind of see my mess and what I got going on here. I don't really need that, but let me get it back. So now in 4K, it definitely is better. I could maybe show that real quick. So it definitely took care of that. Of course, it does have a different, what do you call it, crop ratio if you shoot in 4K. I would just normally back up the camera, but I didn't want to do that for the video. But yeah, it doesn't have any, what do you call it, I don't know, vignetting or whatever that term is, where it's all kind of like in the corners, it's all shady. Vignetting? I don't know. But anyway, let's get it back to 1080p for right now. All right, so we're back to the 1080p. So I'm trying to think if that's really the reason I got the camera. Partly, yes. It kind of came down to that. There is one thing, though. I'm getting other equipment that'll probably make that irrelevant, and I'll shoot in 4K anyway. But let's say I didn't want to shoot in 4K and wanted to shoot in 1080p, like I am now, but I didn't want to be limited to having the lens be at 30 millimeter all the time and having still some I can't say the word, vignetting going on, then this gives me other options. Plus, really, that lens and this camera will give me an opportunity to use the lens as it should be used out in nature doing photography. I could probably still do it the way it is, because if I do zoom it in all the way, it kind of gets rid of maybe most of that vignetting effect. I'm really going to embarrass myself for some reason right now. Guys, I am so amped up trying to get set up with audio. I hadn't set this up in a while. Honestly, it was hard. I didn't do a very good job, but I got it set up now. I did do a good job. It just took me way longer. It's not sponsored by any drink, but I do like this stuff. Anyway, we better get to unboxing this. Someone's calling me. So let's do an overhead angle so you can see what I'm unboxing. All right, here's where the video really begins. The Canon EOS R7. We are unboxing this bad boy. It's a good boy. Your satisfaction means the world to us, and we're committed to delivering. I got this off Amazon. I was just packing material in there. Okay. So we got a little glare, I see. It's shiny and glossy, what can I say? Oh, okay, here's some warranty information, more stuff. Here's my battery charger, which I thought of that. Maybe I'm going to need to charge it. I kind of hope there's a little bit of charge in this battery, but we shall find out. And I think you only get one. That's a little disappointing, but you can get some off of Amazon or eBay for pretty cheap. Now I'm going to have to see, is this different than what I've been using? LP-E6NH. It might be compatible. Looks like it's probably going to work, but I'll check into that. Of course, this one does look a little newer. Instruction manual. The strap. Yay. Did I show off? Did I zoom in on this? I don't know. That's the battery charger. Here comes even bigger moment of truth. Here is the beloved camera. I don't know if I'm supposed to be showing off that number. Probably not. Wow. Sweet. Quite a bit different than what I got. Including the fact that this pivots around or swivels all the way around. Well, I'm not going to advertise a bunch of specs or market a bunch of specs, but I'll give some basic overview. I have my notes on it here. The Canon EOS R7 is a mirrorless camera with a 32 megapixel APS-C CMOS sensor, fast continuous shooting up to 15 frames per second, and in-body stabilization. It has a 2.35 m electronic viewfinder and a 3-inch 1.62 m vari-angle touchscreen. It also has a dual-pixel autofocus system that can track animals and eyes. Here are some insights from user and expert reviews. Pros: fast continuous photo shooting, built-in stabilization, 2 memory card slots, fast burst shooting, good autofocus. Cons: lack of native EOS RFS lenses, which I didn't buy anyway, but I could in the future. I think it is cheaper if you get it in the kit version. Electronic viewfinder could be better. We'll see about that. I'll probably be happy with that. And lack of a CF Express card slot. And I do have one of those, but I haven't been using it a whole lot. So that's a very basic overview of this camera. I hope it has this function where you can communicate with your... oh, that's not the right thing. I hope it has this function where you can communicate with your camera. I'm sure it probably does. If not, I'll have to find another way. So this looks awesome. Now, it's whether or not the battery is charged. I know it's not charged fully, but could there be a little bit of charge in here so that I can maybe put on this lens and see what I can do with it? I don't know. So I put in the battery. There's your card slot. All right, so let's move the box out of the way. All right. Now, all right, so it's going to need an adapter, and I think that's what's in this bag. I have so many bags that came for, I guess you could say, upgrading my channel. So I hope this is what that is. Yep. Mount adapter, and we got quite a glare going on there, but yep. This will make it so that it can work on the normal, I'll call them normal lenses that aren't based on this mirrorless system. I think they're, what are they called? EF lenses. So there's that. That should help me out quite a bit. Mount RF EOS. I'm beginning to think I got the wrong thing. All right, so what I had in this bag was the wrong adapter, but we have it remedied. Put that back, return that where it came from. So I picked this one up. This is the right one, the EF-EOS R. It's like the R. Okay. Let's get situated here. And also, as a side note, this older battery for my Canon 5D Mark IV, this will work. This is the LPE6. It does work. Although it's noted that the what's it called? The LPE6-NH will be better, longer life. Okay. Well, that comes in a little fancier bag and whatnot. I'm just kind of looking at this to see my lighting. Oh, my lighting. I forgot to turn that on. My bad. That's better. I was like, why is it so dark? It's like, come on, Doug. Let's get this show on the road. So that's the box that came in, but I'm pretty sure you could see everything okay. It's just better lighting now. And I can't undo it. So this is what we need. How this better work or I'm going to be upset. Okay. Yes, this looks a little more like it. Although I still can't. There we go. Click. It works. Come on, camera. Focus in the right place. All right. Now I'm going to have to put on my Sigma, but my Sigma is attached to the lens that's recording this right now. So, all right. Let's fix that too. All right. So we're back. This is just the, it's like a stock lens, I think, for a model under the Canon 5D Mark IV. I don't know. It's the 24 to 70, I think. No, it's a 24 to 105. Okay, that's what I have on right now. Whoa. I mean, it has a little more reach. So we're going to put this on. I probably should have this like on something soft, you think? Maybe. Would help a little bit. Let's see how long that lasts. There's my Sigma 18 to 35. Click. It clicked on. All right. Now this is actually the old battery to my other camera, but it's supposed to be able to work. And the new battery, I'm looking at it right now from a distance. It's like half charged because it's blinking twice. Three blinks would be like, or 2 blinks would be like half charged, I think. Well, let's look at that. That's that whole scenario right there. So it's blinking 2 times, so it's not fully charged. I'm just going to leave it be for right now. So I guess it can take this battery. And I can say Vignetting now, if that's the right way to say it. Vignetting. Sometimes when I get worked up in a video and things have been going kind of rough for me setting up for video, yeah, I can get a little tongue-tied over certain words, and that would be one of them. But Peter Piper picked a pick of pickled pickers. Wow, I did not do that one right at all. Peter Piper picked a pail of pickled peppers. Let's try that some other time. So it should turn on, really. Let's just turn this around here. If all is well, this should turn on, but I don't know much about how this particular model works. Yeah, it's on. Because we have the display. So that's sweet. We'll probably put it to manual mode. And yeah, I think I'll just go ahead and put it on the tripod and we'll talk. I mean, it's an awesome camera. As far as how I'm going to learn it, that's going to be on my own. It's going to be much the same, I think. Now I notice the ISO buttons here. I do the back button focus thing on my Canon 5D Mark IV. I'm not sure if I'm going to set that all up right now, but we'll put one of these things on and put it on the tripod and see what it looks like. I'll probably try to shoot just in 1080p just to get started. I'm not afraid of 4K, but well, we'll see. All right, so this is my first time recording on the Canon EOS R7. I got it connected with this Canon Connect. I did not choose to use my ExpoDisc. I did on the prior camera I had on there, but I don't know, how's the white balance on that? I'm just doing the same thing, the 23.98 standard definition, 1080p. It looks really good. In fact, it looked maybe even better in some ways before I started messing with stuff, maybe, as far as manual. But I kind of like it dark, a little bit dark. Yeah, it's focused like right on my freaking eye. That's awesome. At least I will be in focus now, huh? Well, I was before too, but now I think I may especially be in focus. Guys, I'm all sweaty from, it's hot here. I need to turn on my AC. I could do all this before, but like change my ISO. Man, it's already where it needs to be. It is awesome. Yeah, and I think I can change it to 4K with either impacting the crop or not impacting the crop. So that is awesome. In fact, I'm not sure how I'm going to render the video in the end, but we could explore that real quick. And now it's shooting in 4K. I'm not sure if I'll actually render this video in 4K or not. Probably have to now, huh? I think it's awesome. It looks great. Let's take care of the white balance. It may or may not need it. I'll see if I can get that dialed in. I think I like how it looks, but I'm only looking on this little screen here. But we'll just see how that works real quick. ExpoDisc. All right, so some of my lighting's not quite right either. So I do have the custom white balance set for this. Actually, no, I messed up. It's just automatic white balance yet, but I'll keep talking. Wow, I just made that brighter. Yeah, I think I need to have that. Well, I have all kinds of room to impact my lighting, but I think it looks pretty good for my channel. I know it's probably needs a lot of work yet, but let's just get on to recording more video. I have another toy that's going to be arriving tomorrow, but I don't know if when I'll get these videos uploaded. That'll be a whole nother deal, but I'm very thankful that I'm able to get some of these items, because it's about time to make the change for the channel, and not just the channel, just to get out in nature and take some awesome photos. Now, like I said before, the camera that I have before this and still have. All right, so every time I say this camera, that's what I meant. The Canon 5D Mark IV. The Canon 5D Mark IV is an awesome camera. And in fact, it probably will do better in low light situations, but we'll see if it really makes all that much difference. As far as tracking with me, this camera is, I think, doing a little better. Wow. Anyway, maybe I'll take a few nature shots, or maybe I'll include that in a different video just to kind of give you an idea of what that looks like. But I'm not going to be comparing these cameras or making complicated videos like that. But we have a little bit here. It's pretty awesome that I'm able to even look over there and have that view. It's not a viewfinder. What do you call it? I'm able to view myself on that little screen over there. That's pretty awesome. Although I've heard this complaint too, is that like my mic cable's hooked in there, my earbud cables connected, or in-ear monitors, which, by the way, I'm not plugged into right now, or I don't have them inserted. Sorry guys, I'm just kind of excited, and sometimes the right words aren't coming to me in moments like that. So this one has the little red to signify that it's the right ear. Yeah, I would have put it in the wrong ear otherwise. So that's also another reason why I chose this over one of the other models, is it had a microphone output. I need to back up a little bit, but then the mic, or a slouch down here. I want my whole body in the frame, not whole body, my whole face. Wow. Well, I'm just in shock and awe. It's really nice camera. Just checking it out. Well, I got the basic things figured out, I think, for now. Pretty awesome indeed. I just like how it tracks with my eye like that. You can see how sweaty my face is. All right. Well, unless I include something else and attach it to this video, this will mark the end, and I'll tell you to Remember to like and subscribe and hit the notification button, make comments, all that good stuff. Or maybe I'll include a few nature shots or something too, just to show you what this camera can do. The camera right there that you can't see, it's out of frame, that's totally capable too. It's just got maybe a different use at the moment. I'll be playing with this one. Mainly that Sigma 18 to 35 kind of got me interested in other options. I think it's a pretty cool lens. I mean, right now I'm shooting at f1.8. Probably not totally necessary. And I could put this in auto, and I could change the aperture. And I drastically changed it. You can probably see the stuff behind me better now. No, it's all the way up to f16. I can shoot it back all the way down to f1.8, all from right here. Of course, I was able to do that with that too, but with the other camera. This seems to operate a little smoother. Anyway, I better stop toying around. Thanks for watching, and like I said, I'll probably include a few nature shots or something if I can get out and get that done, because it's been kind of rainy lately. But anywho, guys, I'm still learning. That may have not been set to custom white balance. I thought it was this whole time. But I can even change it maybe from right here. I don't know. No, you can't. You got to stop it first. But it is set to custom white balance now for sure. And now it's set to automatic white balance. I don't see a lot of difference, but let me stop it, because you can't change it like mid-horse or midstream. All right, so now I do have it on custom white balance. Notice any difference there? Testing 1, 2, 3. Yeah, this is getting kind of awkward because I'm a little clumsy at this at the moment, but if it wasn't for the experience I've had with my camera, I probably wouldn't even be able to do this tonight. So I'm glad that it's turning out well, except for just the clumsy factor I introduced. I don't think that, I'm not sure if that prior clip was in custom white balance or not. The prior clip where I was speaking at length and thought I was under custom white balance, I wasn't. I was under automatic white balance, but now I am under custom white balance. Yay. But I think I might be able to tell from the information the file gives out. Maybe. I'm not sure. But for sure, right now, it is in custom white balance. Wow, this makes video editing complex. The things I say and how I'm going to, what clips I'm going to include. So if it's just all a mess, forgive me. But I really honestly tried to do the best I could in one night of getting this all figured out. First, I had the wrong adapter to make this work. Now I have the right adapter. Have it set on custom white balance, 1/50th of a second, aperture f1.8, which it wouldn't really have to be that high. Anywho, what do you think of this new look, or does it look pretty much the same? I'm pretty happy with it from what I can tell. I'm still going to have to review it on a bigger screen than this, but I kind of like how I can view it over there too, although I flipped that screen around again. But anywho, enough of this. Thanks for watching the continued version of this. And we'll see if we can include some nature shots like what I was talking about before. Guys, I just went on and talked a little bit more, so hope you don't mind. Thanks. All right, guys, here is the custom white balance rendition with this ExpoDisc. How well does it focus on stuff? Well, it still wants to focus on my eye, but if I tell it to, it'll instantly focus on that. The remote app. But if I don't have that remote app, well, I'd probably have to change. Well, no, it'll do it. that is kind of new to me, that something instantly focuses and then it'll be back on my face. Hopefully, yep. That is pretty sweet. Now, the custom white balance is a matter of my technique, so if you think it looks worse, it's probably on me. I have a couple ways of doing this. I have this ExpoDisc, which I lost and found again, but in the interim, I got something cheaper than this. But now I found this again. Well, so it's been a little bit of a struggle, but overall pretty easy to figure things out. I just go through my normal fumbling, so it wasn't anything too over the top. I'm all set up. I'm set up 1/50th of a second. Aperture f1.8. There's no exposure compensation. ISO set to auto right now, but if I did go to 100, I think it would be the same. I'm increasing it, and you can tell. All that stuff I was able to do with the Canon 5D Mark IV, but this does seem a little smoother operation here, especially on the focus. Like right now it's switching between one eye or the other eye. That's pretty cool. Once in a while it glitches to my entire face as opposed to one of my eyes, but it's on from my perspective, it's this eye that it's focused on. Put my hand up there, then it might change focus a little bit. I'm just viewing what's going on here on my iPhone because I'm connected to the Canon Connect app. And I'm not new to that, except I think there's more of a Bluetooth connectivity if you want it. I'm not sure, but I think it went to Wi-Fi like it normally does, even with that other camera. So something changed there. I'm not sure what that was, but maybe one of my lights dimmed. I don't know. Anywho, probably time to make it a wrap. I do thank you for watching. I'll maybe include some nature shots at the end here so you can get an idea what this camera can do. That camera, the Canon 5D Mark IV, honestly probably is a better camera in a lot of ways, but now as far as like instant focus, like what I just did there with this ExpoDisc, I'm not even used to that even really working for that matter. Of course, it's still stuck on my face. I have to sort of still prompt it a little bit, get my face out of the equation, or I could probably change the focus priority. Right now, the focus priority is on people, eyeballs, except it doesn't say eyeballs, it says eyes. I'm pretty impressed. What are your thoughts on the Canon? I almost said 5D Mark IV. Well, that too. What are your thoughts on that camera? What are your thoughts on the Canon EOS R7? What do you think? I like the fact that it has the ability for me to plug in the earphone jack. I'm not using right now anyway, but I should have been, right? Should have been connected. I'm plugged in, I just didn't plug it in my ears. So I can hear myself, make sure I'm not distorted. I noticed was it the R5? It had a lot of things I wanted. One of the other cheaper cameras than this. I think this is kind of top of the line for the APC sensor. That way I think it's top of the line. I don't know. But I noticed some of the cheaper cameras wouldn't have a way to monitor, and I kind of want that just to make sure I sound good. I'm not clipping. There's a visual here too. Once in a while I get into green, but anyway, I didn't want to get too technical. I read some of the notes about this camera, just the real general stuff. Seems pretty sweet. I'll probably explore it slowly, but I noticed some of the menus, although it was organized maybe a little differently, It was familiar because I've already navigated those menus on the Canon 5D Mark IV, so it wasn't shocking or it wasn't a major learning curve. Well, like I think the Bluetooth, the connectivity stuff was a little different. I'm not even sure if the Canon 5D Mark IV uses Bluetooth in the same way or if it does at all. I think it's just Wi-Fi. But I chose Bluetooth to connect here, but it still opted for, I tried to do Wi-Fi, but I don't know exactly. I think this will stay connected a little better because this one up here, the Canon 5D Mark IV, would easily cut out if I didn't watch it. But hopefully that'll be a little smoother transaction there. Or better yet, I can just monitor myself with an actual monitor, right? Or if nothing else, just look over there. But no, I really do like monitoring from just my iPhone. But of course, that ties up my iPhone. Now let's see, if I went to Notes, will it still stay connected? Because with my other camera, it may lose connectivity. And I've already read this, but the Canon EOS R7 is a mirrorless camera with a 32.5 megapixel APS-C CMOS sensor, fast continuous shooting up to 15 frames per second, and in-body stabilization. It does have good autofocus. Let's go back to Canon Connect, and I'm kind of still there. Connection failed. No, I did lose that. So that's kind of a bummer there. So it's not like I can necessarily... Once I'm in the app, I should stay in the app. That part's kind of a bummer. But why? Well, maybe they'll update it and make it a little smoother operation. So now to turn this camera off, I'd have to get up or maybe use this Amazon Basics thing. Or maybe this will work to say goodbye. So remember to like and subscribe and make comments, and we will see you in the next video. I'm tired, that's my excuse. Hopefully that worked. So it appears, I'm a little confused if you can use this or not. Apparently not when you're connected to Bluetooth and Wi-Fi, but honestly, I'm not even sure about when you're not. But what I don't like about this is I would like to be able to get out of the app and then get back into it. Like here it says, infrared remote controllers such as the RC6 cannot be used for remote control shooting when the camera is paired via Bluetooth with a smartphone or wireless remote control. I believe I will later demonstrate something to the contrary. I don't know, did I misunderstand? But we'll find out. Well, actually, it's kind of paired with Wi-Fi. Start with Bluetooth, but then it upscales it to Wi-Fi. So I did discover if you enable the remote control feature inside the camera that you can use that IR remote, whether it's from Amazon or Canon's or what have you. So let's give that a shot. I already know it works. All right, so I'm back on automatic white balance, but I just wanted to feature that this, Amazon Basics or your Canon, was it R6 or I forget what it's called, but it will work on this. Supposedly though, it doesn't work if it's connected to Wi-Fi. Let's see about that. Well, maybe not. I think it actually, yeah, this still works. This still works whether it's connected or not. So that's kind of cool. So let's stop it now. Let's start it again. Now, why would I need that? Well, sometimes this does lose comms. Like, let's go and read something. Yeah, I got instructions here for my pork loin, although I didn't use these instructions. Conventional oven, remove pork from wrapper, place tenderloin in a shallow baking pan. Bake in preheated 425 Fahrenheit oven for 25 minutes per pound or until a meat thermometer inserted into the thickest portion of the meat registers at 160 Fahrenheit. Let meat rest 5 minutes before slicing. I actually used my Ninja Foodie and I did not follow those directions, although it did reach the 160 mark. And so let's get out of my notes there and go back to Canon Connect, and I bet it's disconnected. Yep. So now this should work. I can tell. Yeah, so it does work once it disconnects. And I could probably reconnect here, but it's kind of more work to do that. So anywho, that's that. This does work. Yeah, IR remote in the event that one of your other methods of, monitoring or stopping record, starting record, so one of those methods stops, you got this as a backup. I like that. I think we're in business pretty much. I did notice one other thing. That seems like there was 2 possible ways to record your audio file, like different. One was maybe compressed or something, but unless that really amounts to something, we'll let it go. All right, one more thing, the quick tag on here at the end is, in my personal opinion, and probably many other photographers, if you're out shooting wildlife, I think it's fairly critical you use a back button focus. You can probably look at other videos on how to do that, because I'm not going to get into that right now, but it's not too hard to get into. It's in your camera's custom mode settings. You're going to disable the AF portion of the shutter where you're half pressing down, and I think it just automatically gets assigned to the AF on button, that one button that's on the back of your camera. And actually you can, I think, assign it to any of those buttons on the back, but I would choose AF on. You're going to keep holding that button down while you're focused on your subject, probably in L servo mode, right? So that's my last tag on. Hope it works out for you. Sorry I didn't get too much of the detail nitty gritty, but you can look at other videos, and I'm telling you right now that back button focus makes a lot of difference. Peace out. And I think this is the last time. Thanks for watching. Remember to like and subscribe.